Hello, friends. Welcome to my command center, and we are live right now. And today we have a very interesting subject because everybody wants to go to space and they want to land on different celestial bodies like Mars or Moon. But after having landed on the surface of the Moon or Mars, how they intend to return or return journey could be made simpler because so far we have seen that for the return journey we have to basically take our fuel along with us, and we have to have a stage rocket which has to be sent along with the landing rocket, and using that only we can uh, come back and return to our home planet, which is planet Earth. But recently, the scientists, especially the Chinese scientists, have done a lot of research, and they have been able to find a new method by which you can use the planetary regolith, which is the soil of that particular planet, using simply the dirt or the soil of that planet. We can actually produce our fuel for propelling our rocket, even to moving out in the deep space or returning back to Earth. So in today's program we will actually understand what is this information is all about and how it is being done. All right, so far, what we have seen is that the Chinese have been very actively doing a lot of research, and they have done research on the moon regolith. Regolith is actually another name for the dirt of a particular planet. Like Mars has a regolith. Similarly, Moon also has a regolith. So during the Apollo program, a lot of these rocks and soil samples were brought back to Earth, and recently Chinese have been able to also send robotic probes onto the surface of the moon, and they got the lunar dust brought down to Earth. And actually they have actually done a lot of research and tried to identify what are the components of the lunar dirt or soil, what do you want to call it, but better word is basically regolith. So there is a lot of different kinds of component. We already know that the lunar surface is very rich in titanium. In fact, moon has more titanium than we find on planet Earth. But while studying the regolith, they found that moon has very high amount of carbon dioxide trapped in the rocks of the moon, and which is a good news for them. And in fact, they did further research on that, and they were able to convert the trapped CO2 into a fuel for the rocket. So once you land on the surface of the moon, you don't have to carry extra fuel from the Earth, which, using this process, which I'm going to explain to you today in this live stream, we can actually generate our return fuel from the dirt on the surface of the moon. And usually for driving our rocket, what we need oxygen. So we need oxygen, we know that we need oxygen because without oxygen nothing will burn. And then we need an inflammable material which will basically combine with oxygen and burn, and that is how the propulsion in a rocket can be created. So what we need is basically oxygen and the fuel. And what is the fuel? So on Earth, especially the the shuttle program, American shuttle program, which is NASA's shuttle program, it was using the hydrogen as the combustible material and oxygen as oxidant. But Elon Musk is using a different fuel. They are using methane and compounds of methane and all that, because it's all related to cost also, and also storage. So if you produce hydrogen, it may be risky because hydrogen has a tendency to explode. So it's very risky to keep hydrogen trapped into some sort of a container. But you need a safer fuel so that you can store it. So one side, your machinery on the moon can convert dirt into your oxygen and fuel, and as and when you want to return to Earth, you just use a portion of that and blast off from the surface of the moon to either take a journey to the Mars or return to Earth. So how this process is actually taking shape? Now, as I said, the rocks or the regolith on the moon has lot of trapped CO2. So using certain mechanism, the CO2 can be reconfigured. The carbon dioxide, which has one carbon atom and two oxygen atoms. So if you use bunch of these carbon atoms combined with hydrogen, then hydrogen is also very easily available everywhere. So combined with hydrogen, what you get free oxygen, O2 molecule, and CH4. The CH4 is basically methane, which is combustible. So one carbon atom, which we have taken from carbon dioxide, combine, replace oxygen from there and replace four hydrogen atoms, which is a very easy process. You can get methane. Methane is highly combustible. So one side you have oxygen and other side you have methane, which is being converted. And when you recombine these two elements together, these compounds together, you get CO2 and water. So there is no pollution per se. So whatever CO2 you have used, you give it back, and you also give water vapor out. So there is no harmful gases like nitric oxide or some sort of pollutant which will affect the surface of the moon. So this is a very safe process. Directly use the dirt, use that as a catalyst, extract carbon dioxide from there, extract oxygen from the regolith, and also methane, store them separately, and whenever you want to take a ride, fill them in separate tanks. And using a very primitive rocket technology, which is almost like more than 100 years old, you can return back to home planet, or you can take a forward journey from the surface of the moon. So this is a game changer, because traveling out in this in the space, you need to carry a lot of stuff with you. You need to carry your breathable air, you need to carry your water, you also need to carry your gravity, or you must have a mechanism to create artificial gravity, and you must also have fuel for your exploration, because if you don't have fuel, then you will not have your batteries. What will charge the batteries, and there will be no propulsion and all that. So therefore, at least one problem is getting solved by just using the dirt. You can actually convert the dirt into useful elements. And therefore, this experiment, which is done by the Chinese astronomers and the Chinese scientists, is really a game changer when it comes to space exploration, because who would have thought that you can extract combustible material directly from moon dirt or Martian dirt? So once we are able to do that on moon, we will be able to replicate this process anywhere on any planet, and therefore this technology can be a game changer. So I think a lot of development is being done in this regard. More research is being done, and also how much quantity we would need to propel ourselves, and how much dirt will be used as a catalyst, because you use the dirt, extract the carbon dioxide, convert that into methane, and then return the dirt back. So this is a very novel process, chemical process, and you just play around with the elements which are available locally on the surface of different planets, and fill your rockets with combustible so that you can take off and attain the escape velocity. Once you attain the escape velocity, when you are in the open space, then there are other propulsion systems like ion engines, etc., can take over. So I think the biggest challenge today we face is basically getting off the planet. And getting off the planet, as you would have noticed, that it requires a lot of big rockets, because especially on Earth, you need huge rockets to take off to beat the gravity of the Earth. So similarly, if you land on a larger planet, you would need more of your fuel, and which you cannot carry from Earth. You have to source it locally. So friends, do let me know what you think about this development. I think I'm very excited, and I want to follow this story. And as and when new development happens, I will bring those development for your consumption. Nevertheless, I'm always eager to get your comments and your questions. So feel free to write back. And As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you again tomorrow in the Science Show. Until then, bye bye and have a nice day.